We have to make some game logic, so I will create the new class game, which will be the logic of the game. Okay, so this will be run behind the view, so it will be subclass of any object. Okay, so we got the class for the generating the expression. We got some randomness, so we get some random expression with random signs and some random wrong results. So now I will show you how to make the delegate. So the delegates are good to call some events or something like that. So and and after that I will show you how to write some logic of our game. So first of all, I just create some new protocols. So I will create the protocol right in our game class. So it will be called game delegate, and it will have some functions. So it will have function game did start, function game did end, and function remain remaining 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 time did change. So so every class what will implemented this protocol will have to have this function. So in our game we could we could call this function. So first of all, I just make the variable for the delegate. So it will be just delegate, and it will be type of game delegate. Okay. So now in our code we can call the delegate method. So if we pass to this variable some class, okay, so we can call in this class defined functions game did start, game did end, and remaining time did change. Okay, so this is for the calling the events what will happen in other class or object to pass the events to another class or object. Okay, so what we will have, what we will need to have in our game object is or class is some variables for storing some data. So we will need some expression buffer for loading some expression, and so this buffer is good when when we will load some, let's say about two expression two expression. Okay, so this is good for the generating the 10 expression once, and not the generating expression one and two expressions, third expression. We will create the some package of the expressions. Okay, so it will be called only sometimes. So when we will need some expression. So buffer is good option for this. Now we have to make some variable for the score of the game, then some multiplier for the score. So if the player will answer correctly, let's say without the wrong answer, he will get some multiplier to his score. Okay, and we have to make some variables for the remaining remaining time of the game. Okay, so it will be int again, and we have to make some timer timer a timer for the count how many seconds remaining to our game. So the timer is simple, and it is some function, or it is object. You can pass the some function what you want to call, and this timer is called by some interval. So if you set 1 second interval, it will call your functions every single second, but you can set the interval to what you want, so like 1 hour, day, or something like that. So, and it is ms timer. Okay, so this is all variables what we need to have, and now we will make some default constructor to our class. So I will call it init, and the parameter of our game is the time. Okay, so when I create a game, I will say, okay, create game with a time like 30 seconds of game. So I will call the game initialization function, and I will pass the 30 seconds. Okay, so I just call the super init for the super initialization of NS object, and then I will set the variables to some to some values. So I will set the score to 0, multiplier to 0, and remaining time to time. Okay, so this is the initialization of our object, and I I I need to make some other functions to our game. So first of all, I need some function to start the game. Okay, so I will create a function start game, and this function will initialize our timer. So oh, I got some mistake in the okay, sorry, my fault. Okay, so now I said I will create the timer, and I will choose this function. So the time interval, I will call the timer every 1 second. Target is self. Selector, I will make some function what will call every single second. Okay, so I just leave it empty for now, and user info is nil, and repeat is true, because we have to call this timer every second. Okay, and after that I have to make run loop, and I have to add the my timer to this time loop, run loop, sorry, and it is this, and for mode and as default. So okay, so what will do this function is it will create the timer to run in a background run loop. Okay, so it will never stops, oh no, never stops out, but it will run when we call the file to our timer, and it will be disabled when we call the invalidate to our timer. Okay, so and in this function we can use our delegate. So because the game started, we will call the function to our delegate. So I will just check if the delegate is not null. Okay, and after that I just call the game did start to our delegate. Okay, so when the game did start, the delegate on this delegate what we will pass in our class another class. Okay, so if we pass some class to this delegate, it will call this function in the delegate will be passed uh, in the class what we passed to the delegate. Okay, so this is simple, and next time I will add some other functions. Okay.